Okay, the part I want to get to is, okay, after I got to start to know Muslim people, I found out that they're very divided into their own countries. And that I was a complete outsider, almost like not welcome in any of their cultures. Okay, and I found out that they had separate mosques. They pray only with people of their country. Usually, there would be sometimes a small mix of a few other people, but there would be like a majority of like who attended certain mosques. So that was what my impression, that's the impression I get. I had no idea, I didn't know Muslim people before I accepted Islam, and then that's what I found out, that they have their own mosque, their own way of doing things, their food, and then I found out they have slightly different ways that they believe, and that's what I got to know about the Muslim people, and that I was an outsider, and it was, they wanted to just like get married with people of their country and not with an outsider. That was mainly my experience.
Islamic education, you said that you studied tafsir and
yeah, and then
this kind of, do you think in that time, because it's not early, I mean it's not late times, it's early times that you convert Islam, and in that time it was good enough materials to learn Islam in English?
Yeah, there was a lot of good materials in English. Some of them had like strange, like thy and thee and thou instead of you, you know, so it was like actually reading like sometimes things from the Bible, because, you know, it had thy and thee and thou, and, you know, but it was easy for me to understand because I already had that from like the Bible, and of course there's so many parts of the Bible that are in Islam, so it was a continuation, it was a natural progression to go from the Bible to Islam, and I read a lot of stuff in English, yeah.
Sometimes I feel that I don't know if am I wrong. If I believe that there is some also sincere, how to say, frankly Christians, they have a good heart. I think, in my opinion, if they know the real information of Islam, real knowledge of Islam, I believe that also a lot of them will convert to Islam. I think everything in the subject. Do you think good enough we can giving the Islamic population here in the USA, they give good enough information to the Christians that they know Islam?
Yes, I feel that if Christians really knew about Islam, that they would accept Islam. But you know, I thought a lot about it, and Allah puts a veil over their hearts and they just can't see it. And I know that if they could see it, they would be Muslim, but it must be Allah's will that He's not going to guide them. That's the only, I thought a lot about it.
What about prayer? When did you...
I started praying immediately after I became a Muslim. And it was Ramadan also, like 3 weeks later after I accepted Islam. And even they asked me, they're like, are you sure you want to be Muslim? Because we're going to have our holy month of Ramadan fasting, like in 3 weeks. You sure you don't want to become Muslim after we finish our month of fasting? I was like, no, I'm sure today that I want to become a Muslim. So, yes, I started praying, and then right away was fasting after that. And it was very hot. It was like July maybe or June. And it was very hot and humid. And Maghrib was like at 8:15.
Almost 20 years before it was?
25 years ago? Yes.
From that time you didn't stop to fasting or pray? You did not stop?
No, I never stopped. No.
And what you are feeling when you pray? What's the meaning of prayer according to you?
Well, I found that praying 5 times a day, it's good because you, instead of focusing so much on this world, you take a break and you focus on asking God for something on your hereafter, and just like just changing your mood, the praying does, because you make wudu and then you pray, and it just it changes you, and then you can like maybe have a different, if you were like having something bad going on, maybe that can change the way you were feeling about something bad, or just change, just a change. It like refocuses you. That was my experience with praying. It is my experience with praying.
What's the fasting?
Fasting.
Because you come from different culture. I mean, in Christianity, I think there is no this kind of fasting. So this must be very different.
Okay,
So
well,
what do you do? Yeah.
well, when I was growing up Catholic, we had Lent, and I think there was one, like Good Friday, you had to fast, but it was like, you know, after breakfast or something, and then you couldn't eat, you know, like for most of the day until it was supper time. And that's what I knew about fasting. But then when it came for 30 days of fasting, it was like kind of like I didn't know if like I could do it, but I did it. I mean, I did it every single year for 25 years, every single Ramadan. And I like fasting. Even now, I look forward to fasting even when it's hot, because I found out that the Sahaba, when it was hot, when they were fasting, they liked it. Like to be like the Sahaba, the best generation. Mm-hmm.
After you became a Muslim, what was the reaction of your community? I mean,
Okay.
positives or negatives?
Okay, well, after I became Muslim, I would say that my family probably thought that this is just another one of my crazy ideas, because I had already gone, you know, to Kenya, to Africa, and so they, you know, thought that was crazy. And then this came like, you know, well, it came like 4 years after I lived in Kenya, but they probably thought it was just one of my crazy ideas, and I was probably just going to forget about it later on. But now it's been 25 years, and I didn't really have any trouble with my family at all. After September 11th, 2001, then they started making little derogatory remarks, and that's what changed them. They were fine, everything was going along just fine, but maybe then they really spoke their mind after that. Mm-hmm.
Which ideas of Islam, of course all the ideas of Islam impressive, but what's the most impressive things according to you?
Okay, the most impressive thing about Islam to me throughout the years is that it's a complete way of life. You know exactly what to do with your time. You wake up and you pray, and then already it's the sunrise, and you should go ahead and like do your work. And then it comes all the different prayer times, and you know exactly what to do with your time. There's a way for everything. And the Sunnah of the Prophet and the Hadith, they just tell you, explain everything in every aspect of your life. It tells you what you're supposed to do. And that's what I like. There's focus, and you know what you're supposed to do. There's guidance the whole way through. That's the most impressive thing to me.
What I want to ask, today we went a place that you were, I don't know, donating, or you are the founder of that.
Mm-hmm.
Would you miss that point? I mean, after you became Muslim, then what you are doing for Islam today? Could you talk about this? Because we will put the pictures, you know, today we shoot it in this speaking. So, what you are doing, and even you didn't talk about your marriage with Ustaz. Yeah. From where you want to start?
And I got married with that brother, and I was married with him 6.5 years. And I have my children, 2 children, a boy and a girl, with that guy. And unfortunately, it ended in divorce. And then I was a single mom for 4 years. And then I met my husband that I have right now, and we've been married for 14 years.